Let me start this video by stating that this was a very difficult video to work on, as this is one of the closest to what we think of a perfect smartphone in 2023. But still, as I said, it's the closest and not the perfect smartphone. Let's straight away start with the problems or little quirks that I encountered with the Ultra. Let's start with the design. This is a basic one, but it's quite a bulky phone, like don't expect to use it one-handedly except for very basic things. It being such a costly phone, I think it must have had stainless steel frame, because as it's quite heavy, I can only imagine how badly aluminum frame will be dented if it drops. But then, stainless steel would make it even heavier. The next point would be the UI. Even though Samsung has improved the fluidity of the UI, I think now it's time for them to give a good makeover, as we have been seeing these icons for a long time now, and also I feel that Google devices have some minimalist design language that gives a soothing effect, be it their nature wallpapers or minimal icons. Samsung's feels loud to me and obviously are now too old and in need of a refresh. They need to make the UI more aesthetically pleasing and consistent. The next and major gripe about this smartphone is its camera's shutter speed. The shutter speed needs an improvement in the main camera app. Yes, there is a way to increase the shutter speed through Samsung's another app, but that is too much to expect from a regular customer to do. If they want to capture photos of moving subjects like kids or pets, they have to download another app, which I don't think a regular customer would ever do. Also, if you even enable that mode, then the overall quality dips considerably when you compare it with normal photos or a photo taken by Pixel 7 in the same scenario. Now, it has been long since they have had this problem. It's time for Samsung to fix it. They should detect the object and do the processing like other companies are doing. This has been an issue since quite some time now, and it's high time they fix it. Next would be the quality of photos and videos that it takes from social media cameras. Nowadays, there are many accounts which have 10,000 plus followers on Instagram or Snapchat, and they generally take videos from the app camera itself and put different filters on it. Very less people go to the main camera and take footage from it and then post it on Insta stories. No matter how good your native camera is, when these people see a drop in quality from iPhones in app camera, they mostly tend to prefer using an iPhone. Next would be the dynamic range in photos. I think I pointed this out in the review too. If not, here it is. I think this is more inconsistent in high dynamic range scenarios than the S23 Ultra. The other day I was trying to get a picture of me when my back was towards the sun and it was unable to capture the scene as I was wearing a black t-shirt. It needs to be more consistent. Video quality is great, but they need to give the Dolby Vision recording format too, as after iPhone, more and more apps are supporting Dolby Vision HDR in the apps. So let's talk about the display. This display has one major problem, but that affects only about 8 to 10% of the people, that is very low PWM rate or pulse width modulation rate. It has only of about 240 Hz, while other major flagships have a PWM rate of more than 600, which may give headache to some people. I also want them to give more brightness when using manual settings. For example, a 14 Pro Max gives you about 850 nits of brightness with the manual slider and 1800 nits when auto brightness is enabled. I know it only reaches 2000 nits while playing HDR content, but Samsung only gives about 550 nits with manual slider, 800 nits with extra brightness option on, and 1300 nits with the auto brightness option. Once again, there is as such no problem with this screen. In fact, it's one of the best. But this needs to be the best, as we are paying the maximum price for a smartphone and other companies are using Samsung's better and newer displays, which they are not giving in their own flagship. Now let's talk about the performance. I know this is a strong point of 8 Gen 2, but hear me out. What I'm trying to say is that other 8 Gen 2 devices like Xiaomi 13 Pro or Oppo's flagship are giving much better numbers in benchmarks with the same chip. And I definitely am not saying that benchmark scores are everything, but when paying top dollar, we expect the company to give the best out of what they are using. And we have seen many times that their software trickery comes in the way of performance, like the GOS, so I think they should optimize it. Now there are some other bugs too. This is not specific to the S23 Ultra, but it is no exception. I do sometimes encounter with bugs. For example, there is one bug that when you're using an app and someone calls you and you pick it up. Now, when the call is ended, you try to scroll again, the app freezes. Now you have to go to the home, only after that it starts to work again. But these are the bugs that every smartphone has and they get solved with every other update. So that's not a major thing. So these are the points that I feel need to be improved in the S23 Ultra to make it a perfect smartphone. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe if you like the content.